weird. But yeah, so you theoretically can get there way faster now.
I try to hitch a ride on its shoulder.
Sure. When you land.
I'm down for it, sure.
Yeah.
Kind of claw into the big quokka.
Just don't get any of those spores in my face.
Oh, that's
too.
You're not in danger right now, so no, you don't let out the spores.
Yeah, I'm like dusting myself off, like trying not.
You do that before you get on his shoulder.
Yeah, yeah. Just like making sure, like, okay, I'm not flaking anymore.
Yeah. Let me see. Just checking something really quick. Oh, I need you to give me another d20. I'm sorry.
I was waiting for it.
Yep.
16.
16. Oh, neat. You feel a little better. You regain 5 hit points. You feel much better now. I mean, maybe it's because you're big, but you feel as normal as you can for now being a 4.5 foot tall rodent. It's a
very large, very wholesome creature.
You basically turned into a capybara's cousin. Like, you got much bigger.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get onto the shoulder of, you get on Littlefoot's shoulder, and you see, that the rat
I'm
has
medium
started.
foot now.
You are, that's true, medium foot. You, I know it's a good session when multiple times over the course of the session, somebody just face palms. Just.
Yep.
With both hands.
And it's best if it's like it's rotating who causes it.
Yeah, every time it's someone different. Absolutely. You see the rat floating with her little motes of magic. Touch it down on the counter. From your height on the quokka, you see the hawk appear out of nowhere. And you see that the basket fell over, and there are a bunch of shinies in that basket. It looks like expensive shit. Let's just say that.
Yeah, that'd be really nice to bring with me.
Yeah, it would.
I might coast down if we get closer to it.
Sure. What do you do, Littlefoot? I'm sorry, medium foot. You're Littlefoot. I'm not gonna entertain that.
Yeah, no. It was a joke. It was a joke.
It's okay.
I am going to barrel out the front door.
Oh, okay. So, no. Rose, you want to stay on the quokka as it charges the back door? Or front door, rather? No, you're gonna fly
out.
out.
My lesson.
I'm out.
Don't barge into doors. That's not a good decision to make.
I'm out.
I love how now we're all scattered.
Yep.
We're all just doing our own things.
So
this room is doing a very good job of keeping us together.
It's true. So you barge towards the door. Your weight is multiplied by 8. I need you to give me a strength check. With advantage.
Okay, first one is an 18.
Okay.
Second one is an 8.
So an 18, which gives you a 17, which is still not bad. You are big, so that is saying something. You pummel into the door, and you do some damage. Let's call it an unarmed... No, we can't call it an unarmed strike because you do 0 damage with unarmed strikes.
Yeah.
Let's say 1 plus your strength modifier. So let's say it's 1, 2. Yeah, the door kind of buckles a little bit. Not a ton though. You hear a crack, but it's more like the strain against the hinges. The glass does not move. And you just see the come on in sign mocking you right at your eye level.
This is completely petty, but can I have it so that I like aim directly at that sign just to break it?
Sure. You want to like hit the sign physically?
I want to like hit the sign as I'm hitting the door.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah, you crack the sign in half. It's like two wooden pieces kind of just like rocking on the wood now. Or on the glass now. Alright. So what are you gonna do instead, Rose? You hop off the quokka just before she pummels into the door. What you doing?
I point and laugh, and then I turn to go look at the shinies.
Valid.
So you flutter over to the basket, and you start sifting through it. Go ahead and give me an investigation check. Call it a snoop check.
Wow, my dice hate me. That's a 4.
4. Okay. Well. So, all that does is just implies how much information you glean from what you find. Not that you don't find anything, there is literally a basket of stuff in front of you. So, as you kind of sift through, you see the lantern, you kind of get out of the hawks, you start looking through the basket, and you find a couple of very expensive looking things. You see the lantern, you see a pair of beautiful short swords that are identical, and they have leather, like a dark leather handle on them with points on the back that almost look like fangs, but they're also in the metal. Like they've got a very ornate handle, but they're identical swords. For you, they would be great swords.
Yeah.
You also see a let me see real quick. You see a really beautiful book. Leather on the front with a kind of a it almost looks like handwriting embossed on the front cover. It looks very storybook, like someone was making a logo or something in calligraphy on the front, but you can kind of suss out that it says the Grand Adventures of Asaris Littlefoot on the front. And then at the bottom it says the most badass halfling. That's the subtitle.
I'll start leafing through it.
Sure. Let me make sure I get I want to make sure I get this title correct.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
Can I be like, okay, that didn't work, and turn back around?
Yeah, sure. You, much like Rose did initially, sort of a shakeout from the impact. Yeah, and you now realize that all 3 of the creatures that you have been interacting with have all fucked off behind the counter. Yeah, so Rose, as you start leafing through, you see, again, beautiful ink handwriting. Very, very fancy. It's like, just writing, you're not be that fancy about it. And you see written, it's very much the, I lost the word, life story, autobiography, memoir was the word I was looking for. It's very much a memoir of this woman named Asaris Littlefoot. There are a few sort of rough, but not bad, sketches in the pen of a little village, and it has mountains around the outside of it, very very idyllic looking. It talks about this halfling's experience in a small town in which she had an act of bravery made her very much a little hero in her, no offense, a bit of a hero in her village and amongst her neighbors and family, and decided she wanted to go see the bigger, brighter world and see what else that she could achieve. And she made some friends. It's all about like the friends she made. You see there is more little sketches. You see the first person that she met when she was out and about was she got stuck in like a dire gopher hole, and this elven woman had shown up, who said her name was Yurilana, and immediately she starts calling her Yuri, and like refuses, like, oh nope, you have a nickname now. And this ranger is she's very used to the forest and helps her survive, and is very impressive with how comfortable she is with the wildlife around. They seem to just kind of follow her wherever she goes. And they also met a now that I'm saying this, it just sounds like I'm describing the Wizard of Oz, and I promise I'm not. They meet this other sort of slightly more private person, a very kind of primal, half humanoid, half bestial sort of person, who really just wants to hang out in their like this like cavey, swampy region that they're in, and they convince them to go like help them out with some little, like, I don't know, some monster in the area, and they kind of like coax Gaxel is the name of this person, and the last person they bring in is this very fancy to do man with a beautiful coiffed, almost cloud-like hair, with a little goatee, and they are constantly let me check this. They don't talk. He doesn't talk a lot about himself, but it seems like he's trying to find a new passion after a few failed ventures. He was a jeweler and a glassblower, and just seemed like his career prospects did not serve him very well. And you all met in this town. The last few pages talk about showing up in a village after people began warning that there were like kidnappings happening, or like people were disappearing, and that they Asaris and her little band of
I wonder who they
adventurers
could be.
couldn't imagine. We're gonna go into this town and go ask around and see what they could find. And that's around the last entry in the book.
Can I suss out any familiarity to any of this?
Yeah, you, actually, give me a charisma check.
Charisma.
Or, let's call it a let's call it a wisdom save. Let's call it
Wisdom save.
Yeah, let's call it a wisdom save.
11.
All right, so 11, 12, 13. You're studying this book, and you see the pictures. They're not bad. They're pretty solid, and you see that there is something vaguely familiar about the figures in it. And you read through the idea of people disappearing in a town. You certainly don't know where you're from or what your deal is. So, I will say you haven't had the epiphany that Thirdrum has had of not being a hawk. But, I mean, you feel like a person. You've got hands and thumbs and an attitude problem. Maybe you're one of those people.
You're the one that like explicitly could talk, and you've not actually talked that much compared to Thirdrum over here, who has just talked nonstop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can I actually get a D8 from you? Rose, specific.
2.
Okay, cool. Let's see.
Also, I ripped the page out and take it with me. The
Oh,
page
the one
that has like the sketches
Do
on
I
it.
see this?
Okay, sure. Yeah, you see the imp fidgeting through the basket and then finding a book and then ripping something out of it. There is something inside you that goes as the page gets ripped out, like you're not sure why.
Yeah, I'm going to like lurch forward. Like,
Okay.
No,
I don't know why I'm
Finders
upset.
keepers, finders keepers.
Oh my god. Okay.
makers keepers.
You do see the cover of the book, though, in the same handwriting that's in your hat. So you see the title, The Grand Adventures of Asaris Littlefoot, the most badass halfling. That's weird. You're definitely a 4.5 foot rodent right now.
Yeah. And this is probably the tallest I've ever been.
Probably. That's a really good point.
If you have enlarge in your spell slot, if in your spell list, and you don't use it as a halfling, you just be like, look, I'm a normal person.
What are you even doing
What
with
are you
yourself?
You'd be like a very tall but kind of wide person because your proportions don't change.
Oh yeah.
So you would still look short, but you would be tall.
Mm-hmm.
So you would just be a very large, short person.
Actually, and Rose, I think you find at least one other thing in there. You find a wand. It's like it's more of a branch. It's a short branch that is twisted and knotted. It looks like several branches sort of wrapped into one. But the thing that really catches your eye on it is that there's these flakes of lichen all over it, and there's these tiny motes of dust on it.
On their spellcasting
Excellent.
focus.
You
I like it.
definitely
It's
have
mine
that. Yeah, you definitely have that. Like, it's not shiny, but I don't care.
Mhm.
This is mine. I keep this.
I'm gonna grab the book. I'd be like very protective of it, kind of like push it under like under my belly, protecting it.
You also
like,
find a couple of you also find a couple of bags, like kits of just like stuff of camping equipment, and there's a few trays of the bag that was, we'll say that the wand was sticking out of a bag. The bag that you find the wand in has like it's weird, it has a bunch of like there's like makeup in it, and this weird silk cape inside, very pretty, very ornate. There's like some what's the word? Stitching. There's like some stitching on it in patterns. And there is a shield, a wooden shield attached to the back. Like it's sort of hanging there. You find a whole bunch of like travel equipment, cooks, materials, and
Do I find anything like
bedrolls.
medicinal?
Yeah. There's a little pouch that has some plants in it. That give me a nature check.
Poison.
That one.
That one. Okay, so with a
Yeah.
3, you. Oh, that doesn't make
Those
sense.
some plants.
Oh wait, that's not what I wanted. I'm sorry. I wanted there we go. Nature check nat 1. Yeah, it's a 3. You recognize they're plants.
Cool. I lose
Like I said,
interest.
those some plants.
Mm-hmm. So, oh, that's why I was doing that wrong. I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong thing. Nat 1, that's a 6. So, not bad.
These are definitely plants.
Yes, these are definitely plants. You have no idea what they do. But the bag has a thick leather it's weird. It's like a big vellum poster, but it's backed in leather and rolled, like almost like a keepsake. And it has I forgot this. I didn't mean to do this, Rose. Has this beautiful poster of like this carnival, this like circus on it,
Mhm.
and it's signed. Let me see if I can find the name.
Fantastic.
2 seconds. It says, to Gaxel, the best gaffer I've ever had. And it's signed, let me get the name of this person. It appears to be you got an autograph. Brond the Brawny is what it's signed. I'll put it in the chat.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and that's what you find. You see the imp just kind of spreading things out on the floor.
This is my collection now.
I'm just spreading it out so you know what's mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Skylar?
How's the duck?
The duck has ducked off. The duck's doing not great.
Okay.
It's just kind of...
After coming out and seeing it, I am going to once again wings outstretched, but this time as I like lunge towards it, I basically encompass it with the wings and essentially just try to give the birdiest hug that I could. And it just goes,
the birdiest hug.
I'm sorry, I seem to undergone a character arc. You seem familiar.
What a way to say I've changed. I seem to have undergone a character arc
Amazing.
without me noticing.
And then I'm going to look at that same claw to see if I see that chain again.
You see the chain very, very, very faded. Like almost like an after image. and it leads to the lantern.
I'm going to look at the duck.
The duck is the duck's
while
kind of
while I'm hugging it. How do we fix this? My thoughts exactly.
Unfortunately, I also have to say that, Arden, you don't know what the duck is saying because the duck's not a real duck. The duck is a construct, so he can't really get any intuition from it. Rose, well, I mean, let's be honest, Gaxel, you go, you see the hawk go give the duck a hug of apology, and the duck's just like, kind of, sort of glitching out, trying to react, and you, not really sure what to make of that. But you do remember the monocle, in the picture of the, of the third drum. You do put two and two together that, oh, okay, that is actually third drum. Sure. But he didn't look like a hawk in the picture.
Looks better as a hawk now.
If you look at the picture, though, just because I forget to add little details sometimes, you do note that he does have a hawk. Like, he has one of those fancy gloves, and a falconry glove, and you see the hawk identical to the one, you can't tell, actually. Fuck that, you can't tell. It's a sketch. There's a hawk that he's holding. Very much like an I'm going fox hunting sort of vibe.
I hawk the paper at him. Oi, bird brain, what do you make of this?
After finishing the hug, I turn, wing outstretched, and I just go, "Devil, we are not in our own bodies."
With the
Yeah.
you get a hunk of paper crumbled and thrown at you, and you see on the page a very dashing fellow with a great monocle, and the top hat is on the hawk, though. That seems to be a feature it came with. But yeah, you see a very, very instinctively sort of familiar face. It's like you forgot it, but you remember it. You're remembering it now that you see it. And it's labeled third drum.
What a inquisitive and handsome fellow. Is that me? Is that me
No.
with me? I cannot explain the depths of how much I want to shit on this.
I'm beside myself right now.
But seeing as this may be part of my character arc I'm having, I will withhold. Thank you, devil.
I hate this self-aware hawk.
How many face palms did we get on that one?
All of them.
Yeah, that was a wave.
Yeah. Everybody. The thing is, I think everybody facepalmed at different parts.
Yep, it just kind of washed over us, very much like a wave of sadness. Okay, so, who has the highest passives? No reason. 14, 12, 13, 10. Okay, Arden. Or should I say Yuri? You, as I said really early on in the game, because I had your character sheet in front of me and I said it, It's the second time I've done an oopsie in the middle of game. I've been really good before now. So Yuri, you hear well, first you catch a little bit of a shadow across the window at the front of the shop, like outside. And you hear the door starting to, like someone's unlocking.
Oh, shit. I hit the deck, and I scurry to hide.
Okay. The little motes of dust just like push you faster underneath something. And let's see. Do you make any noise to warn the others, or do you just fuck off? Like, fuck.
I assume I would have been startled, and I
Sure.
probably would have been like pointing and then running. So,
Yeah, at minimum, they would have like kind of seen your ears perk up and like, yeah, look over in a sudden thing. Yeah, you all see Yuri scurry under. Yuri scurries under the counter, and you start to hear as the door is being opened. Well, it's being unlocked. There's a couple of locks on it.
I'd like to shoot up into the rafters, just
Bunch of little songbirds scatter as you as you get to the top of the rafters. Okay.
Can I, being big?
Sure. And you're behind the counter now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pull the book with me, like into like a cubby or something.
Okay.
And can I,
what? Yeah, go ahead.
like, can I like also just like flip it open really quickly?
Sure. You looking for
Just to a
anything particular?
random page.
Okay.
Just looking for pictures, anything.
Sure. You see. Give me a D4.
That is a 2.
2. You see you see an illustration of an elven woman with this short, like this short mohawk, and she is playing with a pile of small little like stoats, but there's like 20 of them, and she's just kind of like goofing off with them, and they're sort of like crawling up on her shoulder, and you have right next to it a list that says ask Yuri to change them into this, and it's birds crossed out, cats crossed out, weasels crossed out, and then next it's like
character.
next it's like frogs, bees with all caps and lots of exclamation points. Yeah. There's a bunch of other little animals.
I think this is the most wholesome character I've ever seen in D&D.
But yeah, it's that's what you see. Rats is crossed out.
That one got crossed off just now.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Um,
Rats is the last one that's been crossed off. What are you doing, Thirdrum? I imagine you're totally going with the grain. Can't imagine you do anything weird.
I take my mechanical duck buddy under my wing, and I notice that the door is opening, and I just stand there kind of like a deer in the headlights, but I'm just like, I keep the lantern in sight.
Okay.
But just act natural.
Act natural.
sort of looks very concerned. The door finishes unlocking, and you hear the door creak open, and there's a little ding 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 as a bell rings out, and a bald figure in a big fur, like a big coat, kind of bulky coat, comes in, shuts the door, and there's like little creatures running underfoot. What the? Walks towards the bird cage that's just shattered into a million pieces.
Does he catch my eye?
He's not looking at you. You're not at the bird cage. You're behind the counter, so you're like kind of. You're good. Let's see. As he searches around, everybody give me a stealth check if you're trying not to be seen.
18.
I don't have to roll.
Littlefoot's 13, you said?
No, 18.
18. 19 for you total. What about Rose? That doesn't look good. 2. That's a 5. Arden?
18.
18. Whew.
I rolls.
That's a 23 for Arden. And Thirdrum.
I did not roll.
Okay.
I'm trying to be
Cool.
stealthy.
Not trying to be stealthy. Okay. This sort of blue-toned, bald man with a very weirdly flat nose, and his eyes are very big and dark, starts taking off his coat, and you see he's wearing these sort of wrapped robes, and his arms are like uncomfortably long. They kind of get a little bit past his knees. It's very uncomfortable. And he glances up into the rafters. There's tweeting birds, and you're just kind of like hugging a rafter, trying not to be noticed.
Oh!
Did you just say caw, motherfucker?
I did.
God damn it. Okay.
It would actually
Cool.
be more of a shriek.
No, I think it's caw. Like announced
It
it.
literally says the word caw.
Well, let's leave it to Skylar. Is it a genuine caw, or is it a you said the word? It's up to you. Either way.
Character says caw. What comes out? It's up to Hawk.
It is okay. We'll say you say caw. And as the shopkeep is staring up at the imp in the rafters, you're just like, no. Caw. He looks down. Are you the one who caused this problem?
Shit. And then I'm gonna go in the lantern.
And he kind of strides up, hand on the counter as he stalks over, picks up the lantern. Bloody idiot. Holding on the lantern under his arm, starts looking back up at the imp. He kind of nudges the duck over.
I can't take the duck with me.
Oh, yes, you can take the duck with you, I believe.
I took the duck with me.
Because the duck is technically an object.
Yes.
So yes, I think you can take it with you. Does anybody do anything? As you see him kind of just stalking around, looking. He doesn't see the other two of you, but he does see.
I'm gonna
Jaxel.
keep flipping through the book, regardless of if it makes noise.
What are you looking for, ideally?
I'm looking for me.
Oh, sure. You start flipping to the front of the book. And yeah, you see a halfling. It's an interesting angle because it looks like you were like using a mirror propped up to do like a self-portrait. So you've got like your tongue sticking out of one side, like trying to draw at this weird angle. You can tell like you're trying to literally draw what you're looking at. And yeah, it's just sort of shaggy blonde hair, shoulder length, relatively unremarkable looking, just sort of pleasant. Looks like a farm girl. But you have a jacket that has this like seal on it, that has it's like a coat of arms, but it's on a jacket. It's a coat of arms. Anyway, so it has corn and wheat stalks on it. And it has a couple of other insignias and stuff. Give me a charisma check. No, wisdom save. Sorry, I keep saying that. Wisdom save.
18.
18? You remember that you got that the day you chased off probably a dire wolf that was trying to attack a couple of the farmers. And they gave you like a special, like, it's kind of like a key to the village sort of thing. They had to design it because they didn't really know what to give you. But you're the first person who got one.
So, question.
Mm-hmm.
If I decided to go back to being big,
Mm-hmm.
right now,
Mm-hmm.
would it explode the desk in the guy's direction?
He is standing really close to the desk, yes.
Can I, like, get big and fling it at him?
Okay, that'll be a slightly more involved thing. So give me so you're gonna cast Enlarge. So you're gonna get big again. Give me a strength check really quick. Let's say with advantage, because you're gonna be big when you try to throw it.
19.
19,
That's
okay.
a lot better than my first roll.
So an 18. I also need you to give me a D...
Yeah. No, I know.
20.
Oh, no. That's a 9.
Actually, you know what? Give me a D100.
Uh-oh.
What
24.
24. No, roll again. Your skin turns a vibrant shade of blue. You're already blue. You don't get that one.
26.
26. Okay. Great. It's hilarious.
God.
That's so good. It's like what the one thing that definitely had
Yeah.
to do with it. Okay, so you shove with all of your strength, and as the desk kind of buckles under the pressure of this large rodent suddenly underneath it, and you shove a bunch of the desktop at him, and he does not expect that to happen, and he kind of freaks out, like, oh, as you throw some of this desk. I think Gaxel's the only one who sees this. You see as this quokka like gets really, really big, her hat kind of tips back a little smaller. As you see a third equally cheerful eyeball appear on her forehead. And for the next minute, you, Littlefoot, you have advantage on perception checks that involve sight. Because apparently that's what happens when you get trifocal vision.
God, the wild magic chart in 5e is like very tame.
Oh, I have a worse one. If you want to use it, it's a D10,000.
No. No, what I mean is in 3.5 you could get stuff like create a 700-foot radius permanent dead magic zone.
Uh-huh.
Like, you could just be cursed to never use magic again.
Oh, geez, that's rough.
Yeah, no, it's awful.
All right,
I think
so...
my favorite was
go ahead,
you can
what's your
only
favorite?
speak Goblin until you cover your head in water.
Okay. Fascinating. That's the kind of stuff that's on my D10,000 table. All right, so yeah, he gets knocked over by the desk. Ooh, ow, that was very hurtful. And you basically like throw a heavy chunk on him, and his arm, like one of his arms is out, and he's like trying to reach for you, but he got knocked into the wall. Anyone want to do anything else? He's on the ground. He's prone.
Is he close to me? Like, I can probably see him from where I'm hiding.
Oh, absolutely. You definitely see him once he hits the ground.
I'm gonna send my things to attack
you know,
his
you know.
face.
Oh no! Do you want to make them look like anything?
Just to confuse him, I want to make them look like Therdum.
Hawks, a swarm of hawks. Amazing. Sorry,
All with the top hats and the monocle.
Let's be clear. Top hat and monocled hawks.
Yeah.
So
Swarm of hawks, top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning.
Oh, God.
They're just all saluting.
Yeah, basically. Caw, 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 caw. As this swarm, they go red again and angry, but they all turn into these spectral hawks, and they all start swarming on him. He takes... Oh, God, you guys have really laid him up. Cool. He is very bloodied right now. He's just like... and they are swarming and continuing to swarm around him. Gaxel, you want to do anything?
Yeah, if he's prone on the ground, I'm gonna come out from the rafters and from a safe distance where he can't like swat me or anything. I'm just gonna start itching above him and hoping to try to get some of the flakes to just go
You're
down.
like, I need as many of these little things as possible to get on him, and you get
I'm like
a
scratching
little...
my hair. Let's get some dandruff in there.
You get a little angry, and you're just... And as you're scratching and scratching, welcome raiders. You hear, or you feel like you're almost rubbing more of the dust off than you saw was originally there. Like it's coming out of you as you're doing it. And I don't know if anybody can actually see. We're gonna say that Lightfoot can see. But up above the rafters, you see Gaxel start like morphing a little bit. His ears go a little almost like finned and licheny, and the little horns on his head grow little mushroom caps, and there's just these little motes of dust that just like swirl and cloud around this guy. And he's gonna... Okay. Cool. That's not great. Give me 2d4, Rose.
2d4. 6 total.
Jesus. He's just sneezing and coughing, and he's just overwhelmed. He is completely disabled right now by all the stuff that was just happening to him. He's just like...
I'm just like cackling, like, sucks for you.
You're kind of like jumping up and down like an ape, like,
yeah,
like this creepy little imp laugh. Thurdrum, you're just in the bottle, and there's a little bit of a like, it's like there's a very mild earthquake happening in the distance.
I'd like to try and sit the duck down and be like, I'll be back. And see if I can't leave again.
He just kind of does a little circle.
Sit still got
Still kind of glitching out a little bit. And you will yourself out of the bottle, and there is screaming and shouting from the shopkeep, who's clearly on the ground and just covered in angry red hues. and angry red dust that is getting into his lungs and probably
That's not the
causing
only thing.
permanent damage.
That's not the only thing he's about to be covered.
Oh no!
No, please do not. Do not. Don't.
We'll just fast forward through. We'll cut to
Yeah.
this guy covered in wooden shrapnel. Obviously, we know what's streaming down his head right now, like an old-timey statue. The hawks are just like all perched on him, like a horrible murder of crows, just kind of hanging out. You have subdued this guy. What would you like to do, those of you who want to do anything?
Going to attempt to speak. Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? Unfortunate one.
Damn it, Skylar! God damn it. And he looks at you. He's kind of half conscious right now.
And I just. Oh, so you understand?
Unfortunately.
What has happened to us, and can you reverse it?
You are so much fucking trouble.
And if you get rid.
I quit.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. I feed on your tears. Quick, fill my teacup with it. He says, yeah. He's just like still inhaling all of the dust and like clearly like the black mold that Gax has unleashed on him. This guy's gonna really need to go see a doctor.
No, he'll need to see a mortician.
Yeah,
he definitely
probably
needs a drink.
Yeah. And so he just sort of weakly, with one of his ungodly long clawed, you realize he's got almost like crustacean chitin along his super long arm, and he's just kind of like weakly pointing. And you see that there is there seems to be some sort of altar or workstation in the back room that has a bunch of what appear to be spell components. You want to go like goof off with it, or are you waiting for him to elaborate?
Do you need us to go do the thing, or do you want us to go do it?
I do not care. You seem plenty smart.
Thank you. I'll waddle off towards that way.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
Cool.
Does anybody else go with him, or
I'll follow.
Okay. Say you do it with advantage then.
Ah, lovely. Much better. 17.
17? Okay. Is that incorporating your bonus?
No, that is on the dice.
Nice. So that's a 21. So you are searching this desk, and you see that there are four little glass like marbles that are each in, they almost look like little ring boxes. They're each in their own little ring box. And they're glowing with different types of light. You see one of them is this very sort of sickly greenish gray fog on the inside of it. Very dim glow. One of them is kind of like shifting, almost like a mood ring, into a bunch of different colors. But specifically going from like a blue to a bright yellow to a deep orange to a pink, back to blue to a bright orange and it's doing that kind of cycle of 4 colors. And one of them is less of a sickly cloud and more of like what you saw inside the lantern, this like almost cumulus cloud that's kind of floating inside it. And then the last one is very, very fine, very clear, clean blue sort of swirls of arcane energy inside it. They seem delicate.
Yeah. The marble that looks like a cumulus cloud, I'm gonna take that into my claw. First, I'm gonna touch it.
Nothing happens. Nothing happens when you touch it.
For a hawk, I suddenly feel like being a cat, and I just drop it. I toss it over the side.
Sorry, let me be dramatic about it. As it hits the ground. And you...
I'm a hawk forever.
Something tells me you wouldn't mind that.
You faint. And you don't know how much time passes, and when your eyes open, there's a quokka with a hat staring down at you, and I think you're still large, or you're still medium sized. It seems more your size. You kind of, you feel awful. You have fingers. And feet.
You can finally do the finger guns that you've been trying to do for 3 hours.
And yeah, you feel this goatee that sort of almost feels tangible, but also kind of like swirls around. It's like a really thick fog, it feels like. And like the first thing in your head though is, where's Archimedes? And you look around and you don't see your familiar. But you know that you can, like, call him forth and send him back at will from a little demi-plane.
Sit up. And just... Something about being a bird is not all that cracked up as it used to be. Marbles, right. Grab the marbles. And, the fourth one, what was that again?
The one that has, like, bluish, clear, arcane energy?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna hand that to the little hat smile rodent.
Quokka.
Quokka.
Littlefoot. Littlefoot, you have a beautiful... Littlefoot, you have this beautiful little... Give me an Arcana check.
10.
10, plus... Oh, that won't do. Oh, wait, no, that's fine. Yeah, so like a 12. It's a very pretty marble. It kind of looks like your fur color. Give me a strength check. With advantage, because you're big.
It was fragile enough to break from a simple fall from a table. Like,
hey, there's a thing called, like, surface pressure, man. Come on.
18.
18? Okay, yeah.
Or actually,
with
19.
With the rage of a small rodent. No, 18. With the rage of a small rodent, you it's not my fault you have a -1. I mean, it is my fault you have
Also,
a
I'm a
-1,
medium
but
rodent. Thank you.
that's fair. You and it crushes, and you also faint. Thirdrin, you watch as the quokka just kind of almost like a, I feel bad about saying it, almost like a fainting goat. Almost like a fainting goat. You see, and you watch as the form of the rodent shifts into a slightly smaller person. But you also see that out of the marble, this blue light expands and forms almost the outline of a normal-sized version of the rodent, and just kind of flutters into the air and then kind of fades. Takes a second, but let me remind myself what your name was. It was Asaris. Asaris, Littlefoot. You wake up, and you see Thirdrum. And you also have mortal hands.
Oh god, I can finally speak. This entire
Yes, you
time it's
can.
just been
You
weeks. Hi, thanks, and also fuck you.
What do you do with the other 2 marbles? Do you take them to them, or do you just
Also,
break them?
I'm taking his hat off of his head, just very delicately.
Well,
if I can.
technically, the hat's not his. The hat was the Hawk's.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a hat
I
on.
just
He has the monocle,
have
but
the
he doesn't
Okay,
have
I'll
the
take
hat.
the monocle then.
Do you allow this, Skylar? Or is she just like swatting up at you and you're just trying to keep your head out of the way?
I'm like a toddler.
Give
Well,
it.
I'm tall, and I'm
You
just
are
going to hand one of the marbles, and I go, "Tell me what it is you desire, and I will gladly do it as an apology for being such and excuse the pun, bird brain."
Oh my god. You hear a voice in the back of your head, Thirdrum.
I know that the joke was terrible, I agree. Also, Archimedes?
There's this cumulus cloud that kind of, and the bird kind of flaps it away. And as it appears, you see this tiny little spectral chain appear on his foot, and it connects to you.
I'm going to take the marble that kept changing colors,
Mhm.
and I'm going to hand it to the tiny little mouse.
That's good, because it's best that you don't shatter it while she's under the counter. So do you, what do you do with it?
Just kind of stare at
Climb
it
to a
for
high height if you want.
hot minute.
You see it swirling with these colors
Yeah.
that they feel so sort of tumultuous, but also very familiar. And for you, you see almost a different, it's not even so much color. It's like temperature. It's bright yellow, like the midday sun. You see this this orange, like a setting sun, or like foliage changing. You see blue that almost feels cold to the touch as you hold the marble, and this pink is like a thawing of that cold and into a slightly brighter, warmer feeling.
Would you like me to break it? Fair
Brad's
enough. Where in the devil did the devil go?
You see,
I just like
let
kind
me
of.
see how long that lasts.
I just like punch him in the hamstring.
What do you want to do? You want to make him like you have a -1 strength. It
Yeah, no,
heals him for a
want it to
point.
hurt.
I mean,
I don't want it to hurt. I just want him to stumble.
Sure, but it doesn't do anything. It does literally. I don't even know if it would hurt.
No, I said I don't want it to hurt. I just want him to stumble.
Okay.
I'm sorry, would you like to do the honors?
No,
Alright.
just stop making bad jokes, please.
Oh my god.
I only promise to try.
I'm sorry, Asaris. I don't think that happens. I don't think that's I don't think that's a realistic request to make of him.
Okay.
Given how long you've known him,
Yeah.
which is long enough to know that that's his default setting.
Just 2 minutes. 2 minutes without a joke, okay? Can you do that?
Yes, here's the marble.
I don't want the marble. I just want
No. Find our friend. I will give you your 2 minutes. Where's the lantern? I have
While
to check
they're
on the
doing
lantern.
that, I'll probably climb up to where I'm a little higher, and I kind of just toss the marble in the air and hope it breaks.
You get a little bit of height on it. It goes as it breaks, and dozens and dozens and dozens of little motes of light, all changing colors, shift and fly out of this very tiny marble, and all surround you. And there's a little bit of a woozy feeling, as you might have blacked out for like a millisecond, as you just kind of immediately instinctively grip the end of the counter as you're sitting on the counter. And the motes sort of dissipate in your vision, but then you also see the little spirits that always follow you have kind of gone back to almost an excited yellow color, and they're like swirling and crawling around you with nothing but like just the tiniest bit of warmth that you can feel, almost like little sunbeams just kind of touching you a little bit, as you sit back up. And you all see an elven woman with a shock of purple hair, a little bit of frost on the tips of her ears, slightly pale, bluish pale complexion, and yeah, Yuri, you are not a rat anymore. As much as you love your little friends, it's like, I'd rather be this tall.
Yes. Do I still have that ring on me?
You do. It like ding 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 ding, kind of hit the ground next to you on the counter.
I'll pick up my ring and put it on.
It has little rocks in it that now you only now kind of remember or realize there are different stones in, again, like an icy blue, a warm yellow, a deep umber, and like a pink in the ring. It's not in the picture, I made that up. But and it's very much a keepsake from home. Thirdrum, as you're looking around where the devil did that devil go, you still see, honestly, Gaxel's little monster is going to be so jealous when he realizes he got to turn into a symbiote, and Gaxel, like he got to look cool in this little like hulked out mushroom form. So yes, you still see the little mushroom imp just kind of like vibing.
Can I say, Gaxel, is that right?
Yeah.
Here.
Itchy. Throw it.
I just hand the marble over.
Toss it up. Do you catch it or do you let it drop?
I
If you
try
let it drop,
to
you're
hit
falling.
it higher. I try to hit it higher just so it goes like.
Oh
even
sure, just
higher
give it a
and
little
falls
bit
down.
more arc. You
Yeah.
like volleyball
Volley.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You hit, actually, you know what? You hit it with your tail.
Yeah.
And it goes flying across the room, smashes against a wall, and it fills that space with little motes of spores and dust. And you are still in the rafters?
No, I was hovering above
Okay.
the guy.
Oh no, do you land
Yeah.
before you do this? Okay. Listen, this guy
We
doesn't
know
have that
the
many hit
answer to
points left.
that.
If you land on him, it's a problem. You are standing, after a moment, like your vision kind of clears as the dust kind of literally settles, and you all see a very sort of lanky, wiry, sort of muscular guy with really rough, shaggy blonde hair, yellowing eyes, and like a pair of fangs. As he kind of shakes it out a little bit and just sort of, you don't have any wings anymore, but you're taller, and you we'll say you're still like that symbiote sort of lichen texture has started dissolving into the air. You're kind of, I hate to call it, you're kind of like Pigpen from the Charlie Brown series. There's like always a little bit of dust around you.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, you're like that. So, the four of you in this accursed pet shop with this troublesome, I mean, what can only be described as some sort of experimenter, who seemed very keen to get a good price on a few adventurers, with his enterprise of, not just embracing the animal side of people, but maybe bringing it out. You guys can decide what you do with this person. Whether you dole out your own justice or turn him into the authorities, or, I don't know, turn him into a, I don't know, weasel.
I say he be
Turn
he
him
be
into a
made
frog.
to locate every person that he has sold.
So, go into the authorities then. But that is a tale for another day. As
I go check to see if the mechanical duck's still in my lantern.
yeah, that mechanical duck who is totally Gax's. Gax, you won that duck fair and square at the Witchlight Carnival, and he needs to give that fucking thing back.
In pristine
Thank-
shape.
Thank God you didn't completely kill it.
You can, Gax, you can't so much figure out, you probably know someone you could talk to about getting it fixed. A friend of yours at the Witchlight is the one who made it, but, it's a pain in the ass to get to the Feywild, and yeah. You think that maybe one of y'all can figure it out. I mean, Third Drum's probably the most likely. He's pretty smart. So yeah, you should probably fix him. You have a
Fix
little
it
bit
or
of...
you're getting dandruffed.
You do have smith's tools and like tinkering tools. You guys can like get together and try to fix him. I feel so bad now about the duck. And that is your adventure for the evening. The Arcaniest pet shop. I don't know. I don't have a good name for it. There we go.
Your setting.
And that is the end of our story.
Familiar experience.
Familiar experience.
That's
I
very
like that.
good.
Wonderful.
Good job. All right. Great job, everybody. That was you did a great job.
I feel
that
like
was fun.
we figured out a lot.
You did, and you really did. And what's hilarious is you weren't even like technically playing yourselves at the time. I figured out so much.
Yeah.
So my idea was like, oh, okay, how much how much can you learn about the person who who the familiar belongs to? So I thought that was kind of fun. You all did fabulous. If you want to go around and try to guess what your deals were, some of them I tried to be sneaky, but I think you, like you said, I think you guys figured out a lot today. Anybody, who's the most confident they know who or what they are? Okay, I saw Thea's hand go up first.
Okay, I am a halfling wild mage sorcerer.
Yes, you are.
With the folk hero background.
Yes, you are. Good job. That is correct. So yeah, Isara, right? I think I said. Isaris. Yes, Isaris Littlefoot, who is a Lightfoot halfling. All right, Skylar, what do you think? What is third room?
Air Genasi. Air Genasi, Pact of the Genie Warlock. Guild Merchant?
Failed Merchant.
Failed Merchant.
Which comes from, I believe, the Acquisitions Incorporated expansion. I love the backgrounds from Acquisitions Incorporated. Last session, everybody was the child of a famous adventurer.
Oh.
It was very good.
Was it all the same adventurer?
Yeah, they all got sent, they all showed up at their dad's will reading. And then they didn't know who anybody was because they didn't get along.
I gotta watch last
yeah,
session.
it's really good. It's very good.
That sounds
that was
like
fun.
some very Knives Out kind of.
Oh, and then I hurt them all at the end. It was great.
Oh.
Because they got to hear from their dad. It was great. Anyway, so, yes, you were an Air Genasi warlock. Your patron was the genie, specifically an Air Djinn, and hence the wish granting. And you were a Pact of the Chain.
Yep.
So Archimedes is your actual Pact of the Chain familiar. Oh, and then that was Thea. The Quokka is from you having taken the feat that gives you ritual casting, or magic adept wizard, and so you were able to cast that. Because I'll clarify how your familiars exist. Awesome. What about?
I had a question.
Sure.
Okay. Why was I able to still talk?
Because you have 2 eldritch invocations. You have Voice of the Chain Master, which lets you talk through your familiar, which I realized, I was like, oh shit, he can talk. He can just talk through the familiar. And then you also have, I believe it's Investiture of the Chain Master, Investment of the Chain Master, which would technically give you your familiar a flying speed, which it already had as a hawk. You could attack things, and your damage was considered magical. I should have given you resistance. Oh, you already had resistance because you succeeded against Shatter, so you would have been fine.
I meant to ask, what was that first spell that he cast? Was that Chill Touch?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
Which
very certain
I
of that.
insist should be called Lich Slap.
It should.
It should not be called Chill Touch. It doesn't do cold damage. It should not be Chill Touch. It should be like Death Touch or something. But yeah, that was Chill Touch.
I wanted to ask, what is my familiar's name? I
didn't have one for him. I came up with Archimedes last minute. If you want to name your Quokka, you can name them. Rose and Arden, either one of you have thoughts about who you are, what you are?
His name is Blueberry.
Blueberry.
The farthest I got was knowing I was a ranger, and that was about it, honestly.
That's okay. Anybody have any ideas about Arden? Rose?
I don't know much about ranger subclasses, so.
Oh, gotcha. What about you, Rose?
I think you're an Eladrin.
Yes,
right?
You are an Eladrin. So you can change seasons because you're from the Feywild. Skylar?
Swarm Keeper Ranger.
Correct. A Swarm Keeper Ranger. You have some fey spirits that follow you around, and you can make them look like different types of animals. And they just like hang out and they do stuff for you. And so the rat was just symbolic of that particular type of spirit that you you had. But yeah, you're a Swarm Keeper Ranger, a Ladrin. There was no reason to, we didn't get into your backstory, but you do have the Fey Lost background, which just means you are considered one of the Fey, like you found yourself in the Feywild at a young age and grew up there. Oh. And Rose, what about Gaxel? I was so excited to make you an imp.
A circle of I was like, it's just discount Sly. It's fine.
Amy.
Yeah.
So Circle of Spores
obviously,
Druid?
Circle of Spores Druid.
Correct.
I think I'm a bugbear, but I'm not
You're
entirely
not.
sure.
You're a shifter.
Okay. Shifter, okay.
You're a long tooth shifter. You can grow fangs to do bite attacks. And your background, if you want to give a stab?
Charlatan?
No, it's actually from you're a witchlight hand from the carnival, from the from that actual I don't remember what it's called. The light at the witchlight, or the I don't remember what it's called. The one
I haven't
for
gone too
that
far
setting.
into it. Yeah.
The idea is you used to work at the carnival. And so you have connections with the carnival, and you can roam the Witchlight Carnival safely because you used to work there.
Fantastic.
So yeah, and so your imp was from the Find Familiar spell, which you can choose to make it an imp. Let me double. Nah, that's fine. So yeah, that's what I had for you guys. I was super excited. I could not express how excited I was by the idea of turning you all into little creatures. These characters, which I will I'll put them back up on screen. They came from, again, Erin Angiolini, her set of creatures. It was a set called Little Helpers. So there were a few others that obviously I could only pick so many. I desperately wanted the duck. I was gonna have it belong to an artificer or something, but I had to pick between 5 to make it 4, and I went, wait, can I still make a duck noise? And then when I realized I could, I went, okay, I'll be the duck. It's fine.
Honestly, I think one of the things that I thought of that would be like really deeply upsetting is if we had like a Warforged companion that this guy had reconfigured into a duck.
And then I tried to kill it.
Oh.
Oh no, that's awful. So you can find more from Erin at her Patreon. That's where she puts all of her artwork when she finishes it. And you can purchase several of her pieces at her shop, which I will put a link to in the chat. Right here. So thank you so much to Erin for the beautiful, beautiful art. Continues to give me tons of fun ideas. I think I have enough pictures to continue using them until the end of the season. This is 7, so we have 8, 9, and 10 left. So we've got 3 more weeks of shows until we take a break. But thank you, all 4 of you, so much for joining us tonight. I hope you had a good time. And thank you everybody for watching tonight. These shows have consistently been just highlight of my week. They're ridiculous and delightful. And as a reminder, remember to check us out at patreon.com/nerdsmith. If you like what you watched tonight, you can help support the show and help us keep making fun, free shows for you. And our sponsors that are running holiday sales, Die Hard Dice, we have a link to give you 10% off your purchase, but everything on dieharddice.com is on sale right now. You have until December 12th to order things and get them in time for Christmas. So you should take a look. I'll keep reminding people. But if you have a dice dragon in your life that you wanna get something nice for. Also, World Anvil,
Me.
we have a couple more days. Not even. I don't even think that's true. Tomorrow. Today is technically the 30th for me. So the 1st of December is the start of World Ember, which is the writing challenge that World Anvil hosts every December. There are tons of challenges and prompts that they give you to inspire you to write content for your fictional worlds, as well as there are awards that are judged based on the article type. So if you want to write a tavern article, or you want to write a myth article, there will be awards for like best in show of those articles. It's both like a design and a content sort of prize. And there are some really kick-ass sponsors they get every year. So they got some really cool like subscriptions and actual physical gifts and cool things that you can win if you submit and publish a World Anvil article during December. So definitely check them out if you haven't already. And we will see you here next week. Same time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And on Monday, we have Nerdsmith Pixel, where we'll be playing some sort of video game. I'm not sure which one yet. I have some thoughts. But if you are interested, we still have a few slots for our last 3 sessions. You can join us on Discord and hit me up in DMs on Discord if you're interested. I'm just under Angela on the Discord server, and we'll get you in. I still have a few slots left for sessions 8, 9, and 10, and I would love to meet new people. But also, I'm very excited. Anybody here is, of course, welcome to join us again. So I love repeats because everyone's been so delightful so far. So yeah, that is everything we've got. Be sure to follow these kick-ass people. You can find their Twitter on the screen right now. And
follow my Twitter. I just deleted Twitter today.
Hey, good timing.
Finally free.
Congratulations. Some of us will never be free.
You can follow me on Tumblr, but I don't post.
It's the thought that counts. And as Rose plunges into inky blackness, we will leave you there. Please, everybody, have a great rest of your night. Have a good week. Be safe, make good choices, and above all, please do us all a favor and be good to each other. All right, everybody. Bye-bye. Say goodbye, players.
No!
Oh, no.